Okay, this is my very first YouTube live. I've not done one of these before here on this platform, so I don't know what to expect. But I've recently almost hit 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So I thought I would jump on and just see if anyone wanted to come and say hi. Um, and yeah, I can always pull some cards as well for some people if you'd like. I'm feeling the energy today. So very excited. Yes, first live. So I'm going to just set my own space whilst I wait for maybe a couple of people to jump on. And we'll see. If you're watching, I can see there's a couple of people there. Feel free to say something in the live chat. Let me know if you have any questions, whether that's about my content or about spiritual or witchy practices, or even if you just wanted a reading. I've got my cards here. I can do a quick little one card reading for you all. That'd be fun. And I'm just burning some juniper because I love it. I think it's a beautiful scent and a beautiful energy. Hello, Kim. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my first YouTube live. Hello, love. Can't stand but want to say hello. Hello. Hello, Mohammed. So yes, first YouTube live. I've recently almost hit 3,000 subscribers, which is phenomenal. I'm so grateful. So I thought I'd just give back to you all and jump on, say hi. So just sort of setting my space with my juniper there. It's beautiful. Very good at clearing any negative energy and bringing in good energy and keeping the good energy there as well. All right, Gillian, did you have a question? Is there anything you'd like to know? I think in terms of, at least with tarot, it's best to have a specific question to get a more specific answer. I can do general readings, but I prefer to have a question. So, and let me know if you guys can hear me okay as well. As I said, this is my first time going live, so I don't know. Hi, Pandora. So, and I've got a couple decks here as well, so you might get to see a couple of different ones. Where's everybody from? And I don't know. I know when I've done a Facebook Live before, comments are really delayed. Like people comment and then 2 minutes later you see them. So I'm not sure if that's the same here. Video and sound are perfect. Great. Good to hear. It's very good to hear. I'm lucky I've got some nice natural light that comes in. That gives me, during the day at least. If I do this at night, it's really dark. Not fun. So yeah, Gillian, what's on your mind? Central Queensland, hi. What's needing my focus right now? Good question. Well, in case you all don't know, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Was in Perth for the last year, but just moved back to Victoria in Australia, which is the southeast of Australia. And I'm quite close to the coast out in the country. Lucky enough to be outside the lockdown zones from COVID. All right, Gillian, so what's needing your focus right now? Okay, so we have the Four of Wands. I'm not sure what that card looks like. And this traditionally is all about sort of like a happy home life. So just cultivating that feeling of happiness within your home life and within your space that you live in. So thinking about your actual home, what you do to make, to enjoy that time together with yourself or with your friends and family, if possible, if COVID allows for it. And if that's not possible to, spend that time, this is a very celebratory card. So it feels like coming together and, dinner parties is sort of what comes to mind, those sorts of things. If you're not able to do that at the moment and that's making you feel a bit removed from how you would normally, I guess, celebrate or connect with friends and family, see if there's another way you can be creative about it, right? Wands are about sort of creativity, motivation, inspiration. So think of alternative ways you can start getting that bond with your friends and family and start promoting that and getting back to that happy place, basically, in your home and family life. So that's your card for your focus at the moment. Focus on your family and your feeling of happiness within your family and home. All right, let's have a look. Alyssa, if you don't mind, what can I do to better my tarot readings for people? So it depends. Are you doing them via a PDF? Are you doing them via a video? Is it live? Is it in person? All of that. Oh, you're very welcome, Gillian. So Alyssa, it depends what is bothering you about your readings, what is, not coming across as well as you'd like to be. So yeah, it's going to depend on you, but let me know a little bit more about it. I can definitely help you. If it's more about connecting with the cards and getting the right message, I've got content on that and I'm happy to talk about that. Or is it more about the way you're presenting the message and that sort of thing? Let me know. But yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys have seen some of my recent stuff. I've just put up a little video. I'll show you what I did on how to make a spell jar. This is my little spell jar. I actually filmed that video a little while ago, and I don't know what happened. We moved interstate and I forgot about it and then found it was like, oh, I need to edit that and put it up. And when I made it, it was when I was in early pregnancy and I was making it for my morning sickness because I felt terrible, but I didn't want to say it in the video because it was too early to announce. So I was just like, this is for healing and emotional support. I need a big hug right now. But now, it's still working, still going strong. I had a very emotional day last week. I'm trying to aim for a home birth, and being in the country, finding a private midwife is proving very difficult. And I was very emotional about it. Even finding a good doctor has been really hard. And I was like, I can't cry because I got to film TikToks later, but I'm really emotional. And I pulled this out and I just shook it and I just sat with it. I think I put it on my computer. I was like, I just need some help. And within about 20 minutes after doing that, I got a call from a private midwife saying she's going to try and squeeze me in for my due date. So fingers crossed, but it made me feel so much better. And I was like, thank you, Magic. You are incredible. It's amazing what it can do. All right, so Alyssa, I just feel like I'm not being specific enough. I'm not getting enough from the cards. I give strangers readings via social media. So that can be a confidence thing. So sometimes if you're potentially receiving something and not trusting it to just sort of come out with it, so it can be hard. So for example, you might pull a card, right? And your brain might say something, but if you're not listening to it and you just go straight to either traditional meanings, sometimes you can be blocking out what's also coming through. And that can be fear-based as well. So I often, and I'll put this into my PDF readings, and I used to do this when I was starting out, and I started out on a Facebook group. There was a free and paid psychic readings group, and I'd pull a card and I thought, well, these people, this is when it was the free ones, I was like, I'm getting practice. These people aren't paying, so I'm not too afraid to get it wrong, even though you never want to get it wrong. And I'd, flip a card and be like, all right, I just heard the word stuck. Whatever word you hear, and I'm clairaudient, so I hear words. So you might see, a piece of bubblegum stuck to a table, and that might communicate to you stuck. And you can say that. You can say, as I'm peering into this card, I'm seeing a piece of bubblegum stuck to a table. It feels like you're stuck in one spot, and, it's going to be really difficult to move you to the next spot. And, if we're looking at this card, that could be a really resonating message for someone, because this guy's stuck behind this barrier, right? He can't get past. It's like he's rooted to the spot. He's looking at the world. He wants to explore, but something's holding him back. So you just need to go with those words when they come through, or feelings. Like I will say to someone, I'm feeling really anxious or sick in my stomach. It's almost like, you're full of anxiety right now, and that's just me tuning into their energy and noticing in my body where I'm feeling things. I have felt things before where I've tuned into someone's energy, and before I've even pulled the card, it might be like almost like a jolt, down there, and I'm like, whoa, there is repressed sexual tension here, or there is sexual healing there from a traumatic experience that is really coming through. You need to deal with that. And it's all about, firstly, trusting yourself and the way your body and your psychic senses communicate to you, followed with the confidence to say what you're feeling, thinking, and hearing in a way that's going to communicate it across. And don't try and, don't try and hold it back. Like, I'm seeing this bubble gum, but I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say the word stuck. If you're seeing the bubble gum, you say that you see the bubble gum, because that person may have something really specific with what you're saying, or it might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to them. And I found trusting your instincts and just putting it in there, even if it doesn't resonate for them now, it might resonate later, or it might stick with them. And it just gives a little bit more to the reading. I find that really, really good at adding specific stuff in there. And don't be afraid to just, take a deep breath, have another look at the cards, and just see what else, where's your eye being drawn when you're reading intuitively, or, what part of the traditional meaning, if you're pulling more than one card, how are they talking to each other? How are they flowing together? Tell a story with the cards. Okay, that can be really good. Putting that picture out there for someone can be a really great way to get the message through. Loved your video on art witchery. I just started making art again after not making it for years. I feel like I have a lot of projects I want to make that I don't have the skill to pull off. Well, I mean, practice makes perfect, my dear. I started pottery when as a form of art therapy and just grounding myself. And gosh, some of the things I made at the start were, oh, I'll show you one because I use it. This was meant to be a cup. And then it went really wobbly. So I was like pulling it up and it just went crazy. So I was like, all right, I'll just cut that top section off. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a bowl. And I went to do a bowl. And again, this all went wobbly. It wasn't centered properly. So I just cut it down and I got left with this kind of wonky plate. This is in one of my first pottery sessions. And you can see that it was not centered. It's very wobbly. But I still pulled it off and I said, well, sure, I can do something with it. And I painted it with my underglaze colors, and I love it. And I actually use it when I'm smudging, or not that I should be using the word smudging, sorry, smoke cleansing. And I use it to collect my incense ashes, and then I use those incense ashes to make my black salt. And it is so useful, and I made it, and it has my energy and my healing energy, earth energy. I love it. So don't let fear of not being good enough stop you from trying, because that's where the beauty happens. And then, I mean, I made some amazing stuff. Do I have any more? I made this bowl later on. And that one's, again, where I'm collecting incense ashes. They're great little bowls for that. And I made a little vase. I'll show you that one as well. This little guy. Like, it takes time. It's a new skill, but go for it. Okay, if you want to get that creative energy out, do it. Even if you start this project and it doesn't work out, it's going to teach you something. We often learn more through the failures than we do when things go right. But thank you. I really, really love that video. That was so much fun to make. What are your PDF readings? Oh, hey, Thomas. Oh, that's so nice to see you. Thomas was part of that group I was just talking about. That's so nice to see you, Thomas. What are my PDF readings? So I offer PDF readings of all of my reading options. They're all in my shop, so suburbanwitchery.com /shop. And I do a shop update every Monday at 10 a.m. So not all of the readings are going to be available every single week. They're limited at the moment just because I am pregnant and I need to hold back some of my energy. But I do offer generally 1 or 2 astrology reports every week. So that's a PDF of your natal chart and a good in-depth analysis of that, plus a custom chart that you can print out and frame. I've got one up there of myself. And then I've got tarot reading. So there's a deep dive reading that's quite in-depth. It's either a 1-hour Zoom video call with myself, or you can have the PDF download as well. Generally around about like 5 questions, and we go into depth with those. There's a 1-card tarot reading, so that's a nice little jump in. So it's about a page, so a PDF one. And then there's a few other ones, so like goal attainment, so getting your goals, or a sacred self-care. That's a really beautiful one, just like really healing and soft and gentle. So there's a few. And then there's also a prayer and conjure card. So that one is a little different. That is more if you have a spiritual practice already, you have an altar, and you're looking to work with a saint or a mystic, or some energy in your life, and bringing more of that, whatever it is you're needing. So I pull one of those cards and then go into who that saint is, or who that person was in history, what they're bringing to you emotionally and consciously as well, and spiritually. So that's a really interesting one, but it's not for everyone. You do need to have a spiritual practice in place at the time, because it's going to aid you more with that. Thank you for loving my bowl. And thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Kim. Thanks, Pandora. Yes, so this is going to be kid number 2. So I've got 1 3-year-old at the moment. Dad's just taken her out for, I actually don't know where they've gone, but they've gone somewhere probably to a playground. And I've got some free time, hence why I'm on here. I think I'll join that psychic reading room. Yeah, it's a really good one. It's based in New Zealand, so definitely give it a go. If you chat to Melanie, she is the leader, the owner of that group, and she'll be able to interview you for a position just to make sure that you are capable of giving readings. Otherwise, you can always just do practice ones for free. You just have to say that you're not a registered reader on the group. There's other places like tarot readers. no, not that one. Tarot Nerds is a Facebook group that is fantastic. Oh gosh, I did so many readings on there when I began. I would literally sit down with my cards. I'd go to my mum's house and say, all right, I'm putting my daughter down. You pick her up if she needs to. And I'd do a live on there. And I would just read one card for everyone, just go over again and again and again. Or I would just put a post up saying, hey, I want to do 5 readings for people this week. Pop a question and I will give you your reading in the comments. And so these were free, and this was just my way of building up my experience and getting feedback to find out if I was doing okay and that sort of thing. And that helped tremendously, both with my knowledge and my confidence and all of that. So highly recommend going onto either a free and paid psychic reading group. The free and paid one, if you are one of the approved readers, you can also make money that way. It's a really good first step. And just to see as well if you like doing it on that scale, because you're going to be doing a lot of readings. So it can be a really useful way to be like, I love this, or actually, I don't feel like doing any of these readings. And that might be a sign that it's not quite what you're meant to be doing at that level. So yeah, definitely give that a go. And the Tarot Nerds group is fantastic just for asking questions as well. Like, hey, this card, I'm having trouble connecting to it. What's everyone's interpretations? And you can get lots of different interpretations. So that's really cool. Is it possible for your tarot deck to get kind of jealous? I got an oracle deck the other day. Now it seems like my tarot is being moody. So I understand the feeling, that feeling. I often feel guilty, like, for not using one of my decks quite as often as I do the other ones. But I mean, you're not supposed to have favorites with your children, but I know we all do. What can happen, though, is when you start using another deck, your energy gets more closely tied in with that deck. And so you may just need to reconnect with the other one. So if you're feeling that way, I recommend either cleansing both the decks and then sleeping with the one you want to connect a bit more with, sleep with it under your pillow. That can sometimes serve to bring that connection back as well. So that could be potentially what you're feeling and what you need to do. So give it a go, see if that helps you. But I definitely understand. I just bought 3 new decks recently. I'll show you guys. So I've got the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. She is the author of the book Rise Sister Rise, which is amazing and I highly recommend. I've actually got a YouTube video coming out, I think not this week, but the next week, with all of the books that I recommend and why. So stay tuned for that. But that was one of the books. And yeah, she's got this beautiful oracle deck. It's very, very pretty. So I'm still working my way through that and learning how to use it. And then Queen of the Moon Oracle as well, which I love more than I thought I would love as well. It's been really cool and really kind of creepy. Every time I pull a card, it mirrors the exact moon phase that we're in at the time. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Very cool. And then I also got this one, which is the Jane Austen Tarot deck. Now, I will be doing a deck review on this as well. I've got to film that video because it says it's a tarot deck, but it's not like a technical tarot deck. There is not 78 cards, and usually you need 78 cards to be called a tarot deck. I would say this is more a fun deck with tarot vibes. So it's probably not something I'll be using for readings. I've pulled a couple of cards in it and they've been a bit wishy-washy, but it's super fun anyway because I love Jane Austen. So I'm half on it at the moment, but I'll go more into depth in my YouTube video on that as well. So stay tuned if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, I also find the more decks you have, the less jealous the other ones get because you're kind of spreading your energy over them. So yeah. Oh, Thomas, I'm so happy to hear that. You've become a more confident reader. That's great. And that happens, the more you do it and the more decks you can get experience over, the more confident you're going to be and the more your readings are going to have more depth to them as well. Because, you could say let's just pull a random card. Say you pull a King of Wands here and your other deck that has a King of Wands and it's got a certain symbol in it that, just sticks out in your mind. Even though you're not using that deck, you can still bring that symbology through in this reading. Like it's really cool. It just adds a few more layers as well. One of my favorite decks is the Dark Mansion Tarot deck. This one is just beautiful. The artwork's really cool. It's very different to the Rider-Waite-Smith in terms of colors and vibe, I guess. When we go through the Rider-Waite-Smith, we have a lot of, I'll just try and find a card that has it on it. Of course, none of them are showing me what I want to see. There's lots of yellow. There's lots of deserts as well, and like green landscapes. Yeah, and then kind of looks like dry and hot. In this one, you're getting a lot more like, it's such a cool deck. You're getting a lot more dark, edgy, moody vibes. Everything looks a little bit colder, if that makes sense. And I mean, these are from Poland, so you can understand that. I'm trying to find some of there's a lot of wintry cards in here. Like, it just kind of, that makes me think of Charles Dickens, like all of his novels, like Scrooge, right? So yeah, it's just colder. There we go. There's lots of cards like this with snow, which you don't have in that Rider-Waite-Smith. So it's just got a different vibe. I really like it. And the artwork's really fun. Every different expanse, yeah, definitely does. Yeah. And tarot symbolism is just so diverse. I do think having the Rider-Waite-Smith is a very good start. In terms of a diverse deck, it is not a diverse deck, and I dislike that about it. But in terms of the symbolism and the way that Pamela Coleman Smith has depicted each card is just really, really good for getting into your psyche and really getting into your memory about what each of the cards means, right? She's done a really, really fantastic job. They're really easy to read. Whereas something like the Shadowscapes deck, I'll show you that one, is just totally different. Beautiful artwork again. And most of the figures in it, whilst again, they're all white, so there's not a lot of diversity there. And then, I mean, some of the figures are not even people, they're trees, or swans. There's lots of animals in there as well. I just find, like, for the Magician, for example, that the symbolism isn't quite as clear as the Magician in the Rider-Waite-Smith, where you see he's got one arm up, one arm down, as above, so below, all of that. Whereas this one, you're not getting that as much. But when I read with this one, I know as above, so below, so I can bring in that subconscious with the conscious and all of those vibes when I pull this card with this deck, okay, because I've got that crossover knowledge. So Thomas says, I love Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. I haven't seen those ones. That'd be cool. I recently, if you remember Michael Thomas from that group as well, we caught up in Melbourne recently, and he took me to a shop in Williamstown which has thousands of tarot and oracle decks, like the biggest wall I've ever seen, top to bottom, filled with tarot and oracle decks. It was heaven. We spent 3 hours in front of that wall specifically, just trying to find decks, and that's where I bought my 3 new ones. It was so cool, and there were so many decks I'd never heard of or seen before. So it can be so much fun to just, get out and try new ones and see new ones as well. So definitely fun. Whilst I'm here, does anyone else want me to pull a card for them? Does anyone have any other, like witchy, tarot, astrology questions? Do you want me to broach that new topic of, is there 13 signs? Do you have a tattoo? You're now worried if you got the wrong star sign tattooed. I'm happy to go over all of that as well if you'd like. Looks like we've got a few people watching. But yeah, feeling that energy, which is good. I wonder how as well. How did you guys know I was live? I'm curious because I've never watched a YouTube live, and this is my first time doing a YouTube live. Yeah, Thomas, always a Capricorn. Yeah. And yes, if you guys are wondering, there is only 12 signs. There is not 13. And it's not a new thing either, because we've known there's actually 21 constellations, if you have to know. They're much smaller. And all of the energies of all of those have already been compiled into the 12 major ones. The zodiac is a circle. It makes sense to bring that into 12 rather than 13, right? It's mathematically more sense to do the 12. Well, anyway, I did post a link on my Instagram story which goes into depth about why there's only 12. So don't worry, everyone. You're still your star sign. Jackie, if you have a card, that'd be great. If you have a question for the cards, that'd be great. All right, so Thomas, what would you like to be read on? You let me know a question as well. And Pandora, how do I connect to departed loved ones? My grandfather passed away last year. So you can go about that a few different ways. You can either book in to see a medium. So a psychic medium will be able to connect with them for you. We can't, I mean, they can't always guarantee that your grandfather will come through. If he's passed away last year, that's a good amount of time though. But I mean, it's up to them. They've got free will on the other side as well, if they come through or not. But a medium will be able to connect for you. They can be that middle ground. If you're wanting to do it yourself, you can try and develop your mediumship skills. Everyone can do it. Everyone's got the skill, but it's a lot easier for some than for others. For me, it takes a lot of effort, and it's not something that I'm naturally good at in terms of the mediumship side. So it's not something that I do. I can connect with my own ancestors, but I do have an ancestral practice. I do have an altar dedicated to those ancestors as well. And I find chatting with them in meditation is the best way to do that. So you can try and do that. You could chat using a pendulum. So you can do pendulum communication with yourself. You can give it, try a hand at automatic writing. Again, it's not everyone can do it, and it just depends on your level of trance meditation as well, if you can get into that. But yeah, a medium is going to be your best bet for that. A notification popped up, and that's how I saw you live. Cool. That's good to know. Thank you. Kim, I have mine set up for when you post a new video. Oh, cool. Well, that's very nice. Thank you. I'm glad you've got notifications on. That's awesome. All right. So Thomas, all right. So we'll just see what's on the card for you at the moment. What pops up? Let's have a look. Ooh, okay. So 3 of Swords. Now, a lot of people will read this card as a heartbreak card, and I think that does a disservice to the card itself, because it's not just about heartbreak, although that can sometimes be what we focus on, right? Now, with this, we've got swords. What are swords? Well, they deal with our ideas and our communication. And I always find with this one, because it's a 3, and 3s in numerology, tarot, astrology, when we bring it all together, 3s always talk about Gemini, all right? So Gemini, very much about words and how we talk. And sometimes what we say has more of a negative effect than what we realize or what we intend. And this can be not only for when we're talking to other people. So it's the whole idea of words can hurt, right? Not only when we talk to other people, but also how we perceive how other people talk to us. So it can be that we're feeling very sensitive at the moment. And the other thing that this card can mean is our negative self-talk. And that is a really big issue. We all go through negative self-talk, right? But when you get this card and it's coming up, sometimes this can mean that it's actually affecting your manifesting. So the way that, the law of attraction works and everything. So we can often talk about ourselves out loud quite positively, like, yeah, I'm so cool. Yeah, I love this. This is all great. But inside we're going, oh, I look terrible today. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. And just sort of rolling through those negative self-talk ones, or they hate me, they don't like me, all of this. And that's going to start affecting your manifesting, because those thoughts, when your thoughts are something, a belief is just a thought you tell yourself. Okay. So the more you tell yourself something, the more it becomes a belief. And when those beliefs get into your subconscious, that's when you start manifesting that into your reality. So you don't want that. So this is be conscious of your thoughts, be conscious of the way you talk to yourself, to others, and the way you perceive others as well. So that's your message today, Thomas. Be wary of words. Talk kindly to yourself. You are worth it. All right, let's have a look. Then we've got Jackie. Am I on the right path? Or what would be for my best to stop or let go? All right, so in terms of right paths, I believe we're always on our right path, right? We just have like an overarching major path and then little detours, but they're still on the right path and they all teach us something. But what would be for your best to stop or let go of is a really good question. And we can do 2 little looks there, so 2 little cards. Let's have a look. So what's something you need to, I guess, do more of, and something to do less of? Interesting cards today, guys. Very interesting. Okay. All right, so this is for Jackie. So this is your do more of card, which is the King of Wands, okay? King of Wands is a very Leo energy. Leo is all about creativity, right? And what we can see in this card, so it's going to be reversed for you guys, but he's holding that wand with his right hand, okay? Now, your right hand is your masculine side, and your left hand is your feminine. Right hand is go out and get them, get it done, making things happen. It's the doing hand, whereas the left hand or your feminine side is your receiving hand and your sit back and wait for it to happen type of thing. So what you need to do more of is go out and try and get what you're wanting to get. So if you've got a goal in mind at the moment, then you need to step into your masculine side a little bit more assertive. But he's still like, Leo is, whilst assertive and charismatic and creative, they're still quite charming. So it's not an Aries version of assertive, which would be quite dominant and almost abrasive. This is more fun and playful, okay? A fun and playful way to go after it, sort of charming your way into it, but still being like, yeah, but that's actually what I want. I'm actually going to go and take it. So it's just taking a little bit more control in your life rather than waiting for things to fall into your lap. And we can also see, even just looking at his stance, right? He looks to me like he's about to jump off and he's ready for action. He's about to, oh, that thing's happening, quick, go. Like it's a pretty fast energy. Like, as soon as you see your chance, go and take it. Okay, so you need to be looking for that chance, ready to take it and ready to take control of your own life as well, instead of waiting for it to happen to you. So that's your do more card. And then this one. So this is the World card, right? And this is often a card of perfection and everything's happy and I feel totally fine with who I am. It's very flowy sort of energy, and that goes with this one as well, right? This is less flowy, like he's ready to take charge, whereas she's just like, ah, la la, sort of singing and dancing, right? Everything is fine in my world, but again, this feels that sort of feminine energy of, oh, it's just going to come when it comes and I'm open to it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting with this one. And so it's just sort of reiterating exactly what this card was, which is more masculine energy. Go out and grab what you're wanting. Be creative about it as well. Like, don't look at just the standard path. Look at alternate paths to get there, and don't just sit around and wait for it to happen or wait for someone else to come along and bring it to you. Okay, that's your message, my dear. Let's have a look. Pandora, my question, if you don't mind reading for me, is that I feel stuck with achieving a study goal. How do I get unstuck? Well, firstly, without touching the cards, often when we feel stuck, it's our solar plexus chakra. So what I can recommend is utilizing some yellow stones. So things like golden tiger's eye, citrine, yellow jade is a favorite of mine. All of those are going to help with your solar plexus, which is just like, if I sit back a bit, just here. Okay, just below your rib cage in the center there. Now, what you can do is you can wear a necklace, but a really long one, so it sits above that energy center, and just wear that throughout the day. You can place them around your study desk. Another great one, which doesn't relate to that solar plexus chakra, but rainbow fluorite's really good for study as well. Another suggestion is doing like a crystal healing. So you lie down on your bed, maybe pop on some binaural beats that help with the solar plexus chakra, place that stone there, and then just lie there for at least 20 minutes, allowing that stone's energy to start to recalibrate and remove any blockages that you might have there. Drinking peppermint tea can help, chamomile tea can help, lemon tea, diffusing lemon in your oil diffuser, that sort of thing can be really beneficial. But let's see what the cards say. Let's have a look. All right, so let's have a look. How do you get unstuck? What's something that you can do to help you move through that stuck feeling and that stuck energy? Oh, that's so funny. All right. So I did shuffle, and then I spread them out, and we just got the world again. I love when that happens. And when that happens in a live reading, I find that it's often an overarching message for everyone watching when I get multiples of certain cards that come out. So in your case, cards aren't always the same. You pull them out and they're not going to have the exact same meaning for everyone. That's why every tarot reading that I do is going to be different. That's why I can't copy and paste meanings from, I don't have a template of meanings that I copy and paste. That's just not how tarot reading works, okay? It's an intuitive art style. So when we look at this one, and we can see she is unencumbered. Okay, so she's pretty much naked, almost. So it feels like you may have some, and it's not specifically clothes, but just think if you're wearing like really tight clothes, you're not going to be feeling comfortable, right? And that often makes me feel of beliefs or thoughts about ourselves that are restricting us. So you may be feeling, scared of failure or scared of success even. That can be a big fear that people have. And it's almost like you need to strip those off and you need to work on getting past those to get that freedom feeling again, to just open your mind and go and learn. The other thing that we see here is this energy of all 4 elements, okay? So we've got earth energy, that's signified by the bull, fire energy by the lion, air energy by the eagle, and the human here represents water energy. And so that means, and we've got the circle as well. So balance, you can see she's got something in each hand. Balance is a big thing that comes through with this one. Letting go of your fear of letting go of your idea of perfection. So sometimes perfectionism can hold us in progress and make us feel stuck because we don't want to get it not perfect. It has to be perfect, that sort of thing. So sort of letting that flow away to the wind and making sure you're balanced in all 4 elements, okay? So I don't know if you have a spiritual practice and you want to make sure that your altar has all of those elements included, and you work with those elements on like an elemental magic sort of way, or if you don't have that sort of practice, you can just make sure that, every day you are grounding yourself, making sure you're doing something creative, making sure you're doing something that stimulates you mentally, and something that fulfills you emotionally. And making sure once you've got all of those done, that's going to start to balance you out again and maybe open up some space for you to feel that motivation and that inspiration to jump back in. Another hint here is to have a look at your Mars sign in your astrology natal chart, and your Mars will tell you how to motivate yourself. So that's another good one. All right, let's have a look. What do I need to improve right now from Mohammed? Let's have a look. And then I may need to jump off in about 5 minutes, guys, because I've got another reading to get through today before my husband comes home with my daughter. Alrighty. Let's have a look. You're welcome, Pandora. I don't know if I can post a live as a video for you to replay. I don't know yet. This is my first live. I'm not sure. So maybe if I can do it, I will do it so you can replay it. Otherwise, yeah, try not to ask me because a reading comes out and then it's gone like the wind and I'm on to the next one. People are always like, remember when you pulled that card? I was like, I have no idea. I don't know what card it was, especially baby brain right now. That makes it hard. My intuition's good when I'm pregnant, but my memory, not so much. I got in the shower the other day and I was like reading all the shampoo bottles. I was like, la, 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 wasting all this time. I should probably wash my face. I went to wash my face. I still had my glasses on. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. I've never done that before. At least it's not like last pregnancy where I found the butter in the laundry cupboard. I don't even know. I don't know how that happens. All right, so this is for Mohammed. So what do you need to improve on right now? Where do you need to put your focus? Okay. Ace of Cups, my dear. So Ace of Cups. Aces are fun. I like aces. They are they're usually very lucky when they pop up in a reading. I see that always as a good sign for people. So good luck. Now, with the Ace of Cups specifically, so this is generally new relationships, and that can be both friendship and love relationships and familial relationships as well. So cups are all about just relationships in general and people, emotions, and intuition. Okay. And aces are new beginnings, fresh starts, fresh energy in that area of your life. Now, they are a very concentrated form of that element and the element of water here. So what you need to improve on right now is your formulation of new relationships and bringing new people into your life and fresh perspectives and fresh emotional connections, okay? So focusing on maybe either making a new friend or starting a new relationship with someone. It's almost an influx of new people is what you're needing to bring in, and people that can help you to access your emotions in a clearer way and let them flow a little bit easier rather than trying to hold them all in is what I'm feeling with this one. So definitely people that are going to help you sort of feel safe to express yourself in an emotional manner that makes you, progresses yourself and your soul and your progression through this life. You're going to need to, so there feels like there's like a block there emotionally, and having some new people in is going to actually help you move through that. So that's what you need to focus on and improve on right now, your relationships and your emotional expression. So hopefully that helps you, my dear. And then let's have a look. Your Mars is in Aquarius. Okay, Pandora. Mars in Aquarius. I'm not surprised if you're finding it a little bit hard to be motivated, because when you have your Mars in Aquarius, it's almost like you need that lightning bolt of inspiration, and you need to take it when it comes. And it's not something you can cultivate as much as like someone has a Mars in Virgo, a Mars in Gemini, a Mars in Leo. Like there are very specific things they can do to like, okay, Mars in Leo, you're going to block out 2 hours and you're going to focus on this and you're going to put your all into that one single task, and that's going to motivate them. But a Mars in Aquarius is a little bit more wishy-washy. Because it's just a bit more of a detached sign. And what can motivate you, though, is looking into how what you're studying and what you're doing is going to help your future generations, improve your community, improve your if you're doing anything, I don't know what you're studying, but it could be anything spiritual as well. So as long as you're looking futuristic and new age and how you're going to be adding to that, that can be motivating as well. So maybe even doing some visualization exercises on, the outcome of when you actually finish what you're wanting to do. When let's just say you're doing social work, right? Okay, when I am a social worker, when I'm fully qualified, I can imagine myself, in this scenario with this family and how I'm going to help them so much, and it's going to improve the whole community as a whole, and it's going to, want to think sort of big picture, helping that lift that community up or move civilization forward. Maybe something with technology as well, you could motivate yourself by utilizing technology in a creative way. So those are some ways you can do it, but definitely when you feel that inspiration, jump on it and just dive straight in when it comes. Okay, so it's a little bit more, less grounded when you're Mars in Aquarius. But well done on knowing that. Where was I up to? Lynn Herbert, what should I improve on? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, Wayman, that's really good. You've just come along and got a message that you need to. Studying disability and mental health. Awesome. Again, thinking about exactly how what you're doing is going to help lift up the community and the disabled community and those who have mental health, issues as well. I've been through those, and mental health workers are really, really necessary. So looking at the overall picture will really help you. So feel on that. All right. So Lynn, what should I improve on? All right, my dear, we've got the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords, she's a logical queen. She's direct. She's truthful. Truthful feels like speaking your truth and working on your throat chakra as well. So if you have any necklaces, like this is a blue kyanite. You could also use something like blue calcite, which looks like this. Find something like that on a necklace if you can, especially a shorter necklace than what I'm wearing. So if you have something that was maybe here, perfect spot, right? That's going to help align your throat chakra and help you express yourself clearer and help you communicate the way that you're wanting to come across. So it's a little bit of an emphasis on speaking your truth, speaking the truth. You can see she's got like this sort of truth here as well. She's quite direct as well. So it may be that you're not being direct enough at the moment. So you're maybe saying something. For example, like I say to my husband, I'm like, do you want to put the bins out later? That's not a direct thing. That I should say, can you please put the bins out? There's no harm. And sometimes as women, we can try and soften and tone our things down, like, oh, I just wanted to check in, rather than I wanted to check in. We don't have to put the just there, the just soften. So maybe look at your language and the way you're softening some of the things that you're saying, and see how you can become more direct and more clear in what you're actually wanting and more confident in, being okay to say what you want, all right? That sort of thing. So she's a good queen. She's very good, logical and fair as well. So that's sort of the vibe that I'm getting for you. Work on that throat chakra expression. Your Mars is in Aquarius too. Well, there you go. Now you know. Yeah, marriage helps you with directors, doesn't it? Because they don't hear you when you say, shall we put the bins out later? Which is really our way of saying, put the bins out, please. So marriage can definitely help with that. All right. And was there anyone else? I think that was everyone. No, Kim. Kim is the last one. So I'll just do Kim. What do I need to work or focus on? Let's have a look. Alrighty. Let's have a look. Oh, 3 of Cups. That's nice. I love this card. It's a really fun card. This is like play is the word that I'm getting through for this one. So focus on play more rather than work. It's a very celebratory card. It shows, friends coming together, lighthearted. Don't take things so seriously, and, fill your emotional cup with your friendships. So start, focusing on those a little bit more. And the 3s, so 3s in the tarot are about creativity and growth and expansion and birth as well. So birthing new ideas or new traditions, I'm kind of feeling. So whether with your friends, having a games night or something like that, obviously COVID restrictions depending on where you are in the world. But it feels very much like getting together with people and growing and making something new out of it. That's going to be a really great place for you at the moment to just sort of let your hair down a little bit and have fun. Have fun is your focus on fun. What a great card. I want that card. Thank you, Pandora. I'm very thankful for everyone that's been able to join in today. If you don't know, so I don't often do lives. They are a rarer occurrence. I usually do them to mark a big thing. So I did one when I hit 50,000 followers on TikTok. I'm planning to do one when I hit 1,000 followers on Facebook. It's crazy how the different platforms are so wildly different in terms of followers. So I think I'm just over 700 on Facebook. So if you jump on over there and give me a like, then you'll be able to see that next live when that comes up at 1,000. And I'll probably do one when I hit 20,000 on Instagram as well. But yeah, I don't do them super often. I do, however, offer them to my Patreons once a month. So depending on how many people jump on, this morning we had 3 people. So those 3 people got to ask any questions they want. They got a reading from me. You might have questions about your practice or, manifesting with the moon or astrology or whatever. And you've pretty much got that time with me. Similar to this, except your actual videos there, I can talk one-on-one with you rather than via text and stuff like that. So definitely jump on over there. As I said, I've got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, my blog as well. So I've got a new blog coming out this week, which is going to be on crystals for lucid dreaming. So that's really cool. That's a guest blog from Unearthed Crystals, which is really fun. And they're posting one of my blogs on their page, and that's all about the tarot. So that could be good to check out too. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me. It's been lovely. It's been fun to do my first ever YouTube live, and I'll probably save the next one when I hit 5,000 subscribers. So stay tuned. All right, guys. Have a great Saturday or Friday if you're over in the States, and I'll chat with you all next time. Bye.